the most bloodthirsty and perverse killer in Dead by Daylight, the cannibal Ghostface. What turned him into a merciless, cold-blooded demon? And what made him so obsessed with toying with and hunting his victims? Let's step into today's horror canteen. Ghostface's real name is Danny Johnson. Since childhood, his father instilled in him all kinds of terrifying and bloody ideas. From terrifying movies at the start to all sorts of bizarre cases later on, with horrifying descriptions, frightening sounds, and perfectly timed dramatic pauses every time these stories made his blood boil with excitement. These stories became the toys that accompanied him throughout his childhood. Gradually, he began to enjoy this feeling. The more terrifying and mysterious the stories were, the more he could savor the thrill of life within them. And the thought that these stories were cases personally solved by his father only intensified this feeling. Gradually, Danny began to yearn for the plots in those stories. He started to follow in his father's footsteps, beginning to hunt humans in the shadows. But compared to his father, Danny was even more deranged. The stories he devised were even more terrifying. Unlike his father, who would ambush his prey when they were off guard, he would warn them of the impending danger in advance, then toy with them as they trembled in fear. And finally, only after their repeated pleas for mercy would he kill them. And now, Danny is searching for a new story. He needs to find an ordinary person, a perfect victim with whom people can empathize, someone who doesn't deserve to die. He wants his readers to feel as if they themselves could be the next prey. He carefully flips through the candidate files and an unremarkable name catches his eye, John Michaels. A name that is neither a first nor a last name, it's just perfect. A 9-to-5 teacher, single, living in a townhouse with a white picket fence with no criminal record whatsoever. Danny looked at this flawless prey and couldn't help but laugh out loud with delight. This name was just perfect for his next chapter. Every John and Michaels would be drawn to the title, consciously or unconsciously. The name alone would attract a considerable number of readers, and the story itself, with its layers of mounting terror, would leave every reader feeling as if a demon were gripping their throat, unable to breathe. After several days of observation, Danny now knew John's daily routine inside out. He sneaked into John's house, cutting off all devices that could connect to the outside world. Unaware, John stumbled blindly into the web Danny had so carefully woven, like a headless fly. Late at night, accompanied by the chirping of insects outside, John, exhausted from a long day, crawled into bed early. Suddenly, a loud noise startled him awake. John, still groggy with sleep, went downstairs to check and found that the refrigerator, which should have been tightly shut, had somehow been opened. The glaring white light, tinged with a chill, looked even more eerie in the darkness. But John didn't think much of it. He casually closed the fridge and went back upstairs. Unbeknownst to him, in a dark corner, a pale face was watching everything unfold. Just as John got back into bed and hadn't even closed his eyes, he heard the faint sound of running water downstairs. The string of strange occurrences left John completely unable to sleep. He tiptoed down the stairs, staring at the inexplicably open fridge and listening to the drip-drip of water in the kitchen. He felt a gaze as predatory as a beast stalking a lamb, scrutinizing him without restraint. John couldn't help but swallow nervously, his panicked eyes darting around the darkness surrounding him. Clinging to his last shred of consciousness, he lunged for the only phone in the house as if grasping at a lifeline. But after a series of frantic button presses, all he got in return was the cold, mechanical message that there was no signal. And behind him,